Today I'm going to be doing a quick video on changing the oil in this 2023 Chevy Camaro ZL1 back here that has the LT4 motor. This process is the same for various years of the Camaro and also the Corvette. In regard to the oil, what I use is that Mobil Supercar down there, and this is 0W-40. This stuff is very hard to find locally. I have an AutoZone, Advance, Napa, O'Reilly's, and a few others within a 1 mile radius of my house, and not a single one of them carry this. I've been getting it on Amazon for the last year or so. It's very cheap when you get it there versus some of these other retailers out there. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in getting it, and you're also going to need to get this ACDelco PF64 oil filter down there. In addition, I'll also show you where I jack this vehicle up. So I have a couple of pinch weld adapters. I'll show you where I put them under there to make sure you're not damaged underneath while you're getting this done. But if you've never done this before, it's a very easy process. I'll show you how you can very easily do it yourself at home. Alright, to get started here, set the emergency brake and put some wheel chocks in the back. Then we're going to be jacking the vehicle up on the pinch weld, and I'll show you where that's at here in a minute. But in order to do that, you're going to need to use one of these pinch weld adapters. If you're not familiar with these, check out the link above. I've got a lot more detail on where you can get some of these, but the one I've been using on my ZL1 the last couple of years is the ZL1 add-ons. They make a couple different versions. That's a permanent mount one, and this is one that you can use for your floor jack. So it comes apart there, and you can just set it in place like this, or you can use this little bit larger mount here, and that'll go up under there and it won't damage the pinch weld. So you really need to use something like this. What I typically do is I jack the vehicle up and I'll put a couple boards underneath the wheels over here, and I'll do the same thing over there to take the pressure off the pinch weld, and it's just sitting on the actual tires. I do also have some of those ramps, but I don't like using the ramps as much on this vehicle because it sits so low and you got to stagger a bunch of boards in front of it to drive up the ramp. So I typically do it this other way, but again, you're going to have to figure out a way to get this thing up a little bit higher off the ground so you can get underneath there in order to remove the drain plug and filter. Alright, so after you get this side raised up, then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Now that we have the vehicle jacked up, now we can remove the drain plug here, and it's just going to be a 15 mil. Just make sure you have a fairly large drain pan ready, because there's going to be a lot of fluid coming out of here. And one comment here real quick, I don't know if you picked that up in the video there, but you're going to notice that gasket there is stuck on the engine side. You want to make sure you get that off, and obviously you can get it off after you remove the plug as well, but just make sure that's removed because we need to make sure we replace that. And I'll give you the GM part number for that here in a minute. And there's that gasket I was talking about. Alright, so then to install the new plug, you're going to make sure you remove this gasket. So just take a pick right here and pry that out. And I already installed a new one on here, and I'll give you a picture of the part number there. Just make sure you pry that off, put your new one on there, put a little fresh oil on here. And when this is done draining over here, we'll wipe that clean and we'll install the plug. Then you're going to torque this to 18 foot-pounds. Alright, so there's the 18. Moving on to removing the oil filter, real quick, I'll show you what I use to get these off on our new one here. So if we take this ACDelco, they make all kinds of different versions of these adapters, and this one fits perfectly on this ACDelco, and I'll put some links in the description. Depending on which oil filter you get, you might have a different size, but what this does, it goes in there like that, and you're able to use your ratchet, so when you're underneath there, you can very easily spin that out of there. If you don't want to spend the money on these, a tried and true way that I've always done over the years is this sandpaper as well. You can go under there and just helps you give it a little bit extra grip, and you should be able to twist it off. So we'll go back under the vehicle real quick, and I'll show you how I use this tool here to remove the oil filter. Alright, so we'll install the adapter, and we'll take our ratchet, And you can sometimes get lucky if these spin off, but the problem on this motor is there's hardly no room on this back side, so this thing really comes in handy. Then once you got it installed, you can see how easily you can twist that off of there. Alright, so once we got it loose there, we'll remove the tool, get our drain pan under here, and we'll go ahead and remove it the rest of the way. And I typically just let that drain just like that for a second, just so you don't get a rush of all that oil coming out at once. Then once the majority of that's done draining, take this off the rest of the way. Moving on to installing the new filter, I'm going to be using the ACDelco PF64 here. So what you want to do is take some fresh oil, and again, this is just the Mobil 1 Supercar 0W-40 that I'm using here. We're going to just dump a little bit in here. And we're also going to take a little bit of that and we're just going to put it on the seal on the outside. Just like that. Then when that's done draining, take a clean rag, just wipe off that lip a little bit. Then we'll install our new filter. And don't over tighten this. It literally just go 3/4 of a turn after you feel it snug, and then that should be good enough. Then we'll do one last cleanup down here, just to make sure there's no oil anywhere on the motor. Then we're done installing the oil filter. Now ready to fill it up with oil, so just remove the oil cap. And I saw people use those angle adapters in here, but honestly, it's really not necessary. Just get a funnel and just hold it there. Then when you're dumping in the fluid, just hold it like that. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to dump 10 quarts of this Mobil 1 Supercar in here. Alright, so after you get the 10 quarts in, remove the funnel. Make sure you wipe up any oil that you might have spilled. Then we'll reinstall the engine oil cap. Alright, so then the last thing we need to do here is just reset the oil life monitor system. So start the car. Then go into the info. So mine is already on the info here, but if it's not, just make sure you go to this section here. And you're going to toggle down to where you see the oil life monitor system. Right here it is. So now we see it's at 1%. So we'll go over to the right and it'll say reset. So then just hit the select button over here. Say yes, we want to reset it. And then it'll go to 100%. There you go. And that's all you got to do. Alright, so hopefully this video helped you out if you're interested on what you had to do to change the oil in this LT4 Camaro. If it did, please give me the thumbs up. If you're interested in more content like this, please hit that subscribe. Again, I hope this helped you out. Thanks for watching.